Hello everyone, this is Cassie with the Clinton Public Library. We are going to be starting our stream in about 5 minutes, and I wanted to get it going because I'm doing something a little bit different today. I've actually pre-recorded my speech part of this. Um, so I will be able to answer your things in the chat. Yes, yes, okay. So it is, I can hear myself talking on them, so that is working, so um, yeah, it's gonna truly start in just a few minutes. Just want to make sure everyone, gonna share it to all the places. Yes, I'm sorry people on Facebook, you're going to get a smattering of me sharing our link in every group that I can think to put us in. For all those of you on the other websites, that is YouTube and Twitch, feel free to throw questions in the chat. I will be happy to answer anything that is any questions coming up in the chat. I am keeping an eye on all of them. That's part of the reason why I recorded it ahead of time, so that I don't have to focus on talking and answering questions at the same time. So, I'm going to give it just another couple of minutes before I switch over to the talking about things coming up for the rest of this month. For next month, there's some really interesting stuff that we're going to be doing here at the library, so some things you may be interested in. Some more information. It's very limited information about the grant we got to get a writer to come in and do a writing workshop. You may remember the last time we had Mr. Sweezy come out. This year, sorry, I don't have very much information. Right at my fingertips because I just thought about it. It is going to happen later on in the year. We just need some time to get things put together, get it after summer reading, because summer reading is crazy time for all of us. That said, we do have some really cool stuff coming up this year for summer reading. It's a really cool topic, but I won't tell you more because that isn't until June and you guys don't need to be worrying about it. So without further ado, I'm going to change that. Okie dokie. Let's make sure I am still okay. Sorry, there's just a little bit of delay in between all of my sites that I'm watching on. So I'm having to go back and forth between them to make sure that you can still hear me, because I've had some issues with audio in the past. That said, let us talk about this lovely set of things that we have on here. Our book club book for the month is actually called The Shallows. That is the book club book for this month. For next month, sorry, the light stream. There we go. Yep, you're still here, but now you're going to be down here. The one for next month is Letters from Paris by Julia Blackwell. That will actually start on the 1st of February. The book club meeting for The Shallows is on the 27th. That is both going to be live and in person. If you're interested, please think of attending. We do have copies of the book that are available. I don't know if you guys caught it, but we do have a thing called Table Talk. That is a new live stream / in-person thing that we are doing. This month we did our genealogy room. Next month, on the 5th of February at noon, we are doing a tour of our balcony because we have some pretty cool stuff that we just added to it, including a bird watching station. We are very happy about that. Next month's graphic novel is Plants vs. Zombies. This month's graphic novel is Stranger Things. So we have a whole collection of Stranger Things books if you ever want to come and try them. February, we are doing tabletop games. We do say tabletop D&D style game. That is because D&D is the one that most people know primarily from Stranger Things, but they are actually going to be a little bit more simplified, and they're going to be at 6 o'clock on Mondays in February. I will be the one running them. They will be very quick games. We're going to be using very rules-light systems, starting with the first one on the first Monday of February, which I do believe is, what, the second? First or second? It's the second. The second is going to be Rhesus based. So anyone can come. We are recommending the age 10 and up because it is going to be 2 hours. It's probably going to actually take less time because it is a very simple system. Writing Club next month is February 10th. We will be doing the live stream at 4 o'clock. It's going to be the good, the bad, and the spicy stereotypes around romance. I have 5 romance stereotypes that I found pervasive on the internet, and we are going to debunk all of them. As for the fun things that are going on this month at the Clinton Public Library, on Saturday, this Saturday, the 17th, we have an author coming to the library to do a book signing. He has written a book about the local bank robbery that happened back in the 20s or 30s. It was done by the people who are part of the Dillinger gang. Well, it's not Dillinger, but these people were part of his gang and then robbed the bank here in Clinton, Indiana. He will have copies of his book, and he will be able to sign them. In addition to that, on the last Monday of the month, that is the 26th, is our annual local author showcase. We already have a baker's dozen of authors coming to talk about their works. You can ask them questions about how they've been published, how many of them are self-published if you're interested in that. Pretty much a really nice group of people to talk to. That starts at 6. So be sure to come by the library. It is going to be busy that day. So all that said, I'm now going to switch over to our pre-recorded. I pre-recorded it so that I'd be able to answer all your questions. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the chat, put them in the comments. I will get to them. So let us just get that going. Developing a Writing Habit, CPL Writing Club meeting a writing for January 2026. There we go. Alright. How I feel when I'm trying to write every day. It's either sluggish, or I go a little crazy. So that is my personal. I have 2 modes, on and off. You can see on the right and off on the left. That's just the way my brain works. I either want to do it or I don't. And in either case, it can be like a pain trying to get me to actually buckle down and write what I want to write. If it's the on and sometimes I can't focus. Or if it's in the left-hand side where I just can't bring myself to write. Go down and write what I want to write. So let's get into some really quick things about how to start a habit. Sometimes I can't focus. In general. Or if it's in the left-hand side, don't say write 1,000 words a day. Can't bring myself to write. Starting to write a single sentence or a paragraph. Let's get into some really quick things about how to start on habits become bigger goals in general. But you've or if it's in the left-hand side, say you feel bad to make a bigger goal. Bring myself to write. So it's much easier to start on habits or paragraphs. Really quick things. Be precise. Plan out small goals. Habits become bigger goals in general. But you've make sure you're left-hand side. Say you feel bad to make a bigger goal. Bring myself to write. So it's much easier to start on habits. Just really quick things. Be precise. Plan out small goals. Like I'm having some issues with the. Looks like I'm having a little bit of issue with the. Video. Give me just a minute. I will get that fixed. I have ways to do this. It may just take a minute to get up. Sorry about that. Sorry. This is going to be unlisted. Sorry, we're going to work on getting this put up there. In the meantime, we can talk more about all the stuff going on here. Yeah, sorry, it's... Alright, that's not going to work. I'm going to get this to work. Developing a writing habit. CPL Writing Club meeting for January 2020. Develop Developing a writing habit. CPL Writing Club meeting for January 2026. There we go. 26. Alright. There we go. How I feel when I'm trying to write every day. It's either sluggish. There we go. How I feel I go a little every day. Crazy. So that is my personal. I have two modes, on and off. You can see on the right and off on the left. That's just the way my brain works. I either want to do it or I don't. Every day. It's either sluggish. In either case, it can be a pain trying to get me to actually buckle down and write what I want to write. If it's on the left, sometimes I can't. That's just the way my brain. Or if it's in the left-hand side, where I just can't bring myself to write. So let's get into some really quick things about how to start a habit, just in general. Start small. Don't say you'll write 1,000 words a day. Try with starting to write a single sentence or a paragraph a day. Small goals can become bigger goals, but you've kind of feel bad if you make a bigger goal a smaller goal. So it's much easier to start off small and then go big. Be precise. Plan out a specific time and place for when you'll write. Make sure your writing place is comfortable. It does help. Sometimes it also helps making sure that the children or your fur babies cannot interrupt you during this time. I started
Sometimes it also helps making sure that
trying
the
to write at the
children
kitchen
or
table, and my cat and my dog would not leave me alone. So I had to change it so that I was in a room locked away from them, and they were not happy with this the first few times that they started doing this. They sat outside and cried and made me feel like a horrible pet mama. But eventually they got used to this 1 hour chunk of time where I'd just be in that room. Make it rewarding. Small rewards, a small treat, doing something special. I have some Dove chocolate that I only eat after a writing session. So that's my little tiny, the little tiny square Dove chocolates. I have a bag of those that I only get one after I do a writing session. So that's my little reward for myself. Stay consistent and keep track of your writing. So I have a little planner book that I use. I don't have it with me because I'm at work and I usually keep it at home. That I just mark down how long I wrote and how many words I did in the little planner. And it's just nice to have a physical thing that I can look at and say, oh, yeah, I have written a lot this month. And 5, get support. It is easier to stay with something if others are doing so with you. And if other people are holding you accountable. Because in the immortal words of I don't remember who, when I'm the boss, I know that person. I know I can get away with stuff. Alright, so for creating a writing habit, you don't need to write every day, but you do need to write regularly. For me, I do not write on Mondays because I usually work until 8 o'clock and I don't like writing in the morning. So I don't write on Mondays, and I typically don't write on Sundays as well because that's usually when my game night happens or game day happens, and I'm usually tired mentally by the end of it. Um, you're going to have to decide if you're going to measure your writing habit by time or by words. Like, which one are you going to focus on? Are you going to be more concerned with, oh, I got an hour of writing in today versus, sorry, having a little issue with the computer. And no, go back. Versus, oh, I wrote 500 words today. You're going to have to decide which one suits you better. Personally, I like just taking an hour to write. I don't care how much I write in that hour, but that hour is for writing. And you'll need a writing space. I have two examples of a writing space here. There is the nice, clean writing space that kind of looks like it was taken in a hotel room. All of these images came from Pexels.com. By the way, royalty free. You can use their images for anything. You just have to. They encourage you to give credit to the authors or the picture takers, but looks like that didn't save on here, but you can find these pictures on Pexels. So you have the nice organized person, and there are some people who like that. I am the other side, where there is paper everywhere, sticky notes galore. I have a wall that is just note cards of notes for my writing, and it depends on what I'm writing, because I have 3 projects I am currently working on simultaneously. It's the only way I can get anything done. I have to have more than one project. I'm sorry, I can't focus on one thing at a time. That's why I go by time instead of words written. I will work on one piece for 15 minutes, another one for 20, and then the last whatever remaining part of the hour is I'll work on number 3. Sometimes I'll just work on one because I get into the groove and oh, it's an hour later? Yay! Happens. Alright. When it comes to the place, writing at home versus writing elsewhere. Home is familiar, it's controllable, it's free, and you can talk to yourself without being looked at like you're a crazy person. Elsewhere, this could be the library. This could be a coffee shop. It could be your car. It could be a park. It could just be anywhere. You can have greater access to special rewards. Like, do you only go and get special coffee when you go out writing? It's not too comfortable. Like, you're not going to be there like laying down or falling asleep because you got too comfortable. Background noise. Some people need background noise when they are writing. This can, if you are at home and you're writing, this can be kind of manipulated. It's not the right word I want to use, but I can't think of the word that I want to use. Um, by things like lo-fi beats, and then there's like coffee shop sounds on YouTube. You can put those on in the background. I do know that does help some people focus. I'm one of those people. I need to have something going on in the background while I'm working on anything. Um, Meeting elsewhere, doing your writing elsewhere also makes it easier for meeting people, maybe a support group or a writing group and workshopping. It's easier if you write in the, but then you might not get the writing done if you do that. But it can be, you have to take the pros and the cons for each one. The dreaded writer's block. It is going to happen. I don't care if you are Stephen King or Danielle Steele. Writer's block is going to happen. There is nothing you can do to stop it, really. Sometimes you just have to set aside what you are working on and do something else. That is why I work on 3 projects simultaneously. Um, it does help if you have support systems in place. You can work, if you are going to work on that project that you are working on, you can skip the scene you are working in. In the program that I use for when I write, I just put in 3 asterisks and move on to the next scene. That tells me when I go back for editing that, oh, I really need to write this scene because I was having writer's block at the time. That also works for chapters. Like, let's say you're in the middle of a chapter and like you're like, I can't figure out what I want to do next. Go ahead and write the ending. You can always rewrite it. And sometimes that does help. Having the ending already done helps get you to that point. Or you can be like me and work on another project, hence why I usually have 3 projects going on simultaneously. Um, Next question you're going to need to ask yourself when it comes to your writing habit. What do you consider working on your writing for these times? Is it just words? Is it just getting words on the page? Do you include your plotting, your uh, making character and location sheets, just so you know you don't accidentally kill off a character and they show up again 3 chapters later? Perfectly fine. Um, that's happened. Do you include things, secondary things like making maps or maybe doing art if you are the artsy kind of person that I am not of your character so that you have a physical reference? Research. Are you researching the like 1700s uh, dye, uh, how clothing is dyed? Do you include editing? This is all something you need to consider for yourself. Personally, I just put down words, and then when I get done with the thing, then I'll go back and work on the rest of those. But anything done outside of words is not what I consider writing worthy for that hour of writing that I do. Other people may be completely different and they decide that they will include plotting or making the characters or doing art, making maps, research. That can be included in their time. That is up to you. That is a very big, you have to decide that for yourself. Um, Alternatives to writing when the words won't come, aka how I deal with the heavy writer's block. If I can't write in any of the things I am currently working on, plot outlines. These are very useful for when you are at the end of your writing and your editing process and you are getting ready to do your query letters. if you decide to go the traditional publishing route. These things are so useful for when you are putting those together because some agents and some publishers will require those in order to even look at your manuscript. They'll like want they'll want like a plot outline and the first 3 chapters. So if you've written your whole story and you don't have a plot outline, well, or a plot summary, well, here you go. You've made one when you had writer's block, and sometimes it can help when you're like, I need to go from point A to point D and I don't know what point C is. Sometimes that can help. Character sheets, I mentioned them just a little bit ago. This is especially useful if you are doing like a series. And you do not want to forget that in the first book, the character has blue eyes, but because of XYZ event, she ends up having yellow eyes in books 2 and 3. Or this character A, is related to character C and D, but not character E, because character E is not actually C and D's child, or something like that. Family trees, if you're going to do like even historical things where like there's a whole idea of inheritance and stuff, those are very important to have so you don't confuse yourself. Sorry, I'm drying out my throat as I'm talking. Location descriptions. I do not know how many books or stories I have read where I cannot figure out how a town is laid out, especially for like cozy mysteries. Like they say the post office is on Main Street and there's a diner just down the street, but the diner is in book 3 is not on Main Street. So it's like, but you said in book 1 it was just down the street from the post office. Now you're telling me it's on the side street, and now it just can get confusing. So location descriptions, maybe even like, I hate to say it, but the blue curtains that always gets brought up. Explain your locations so that you don't mess up and add too many rooms to a mansion, or you make like a 30-acre farm with like only a tiny little cornfield in the back. What's going on with the other 30 acres? World descriptions. These can help with your world building, can also help you figure out what you're doing plot wise. This is things like, if you're doing fantasy, how does the magic work? If you're doing sci fi, what is the science behind the science? How different locations interact, trade routes, linguistical drift, religions, spy agencies, the nitty gritty that like 90% of it your readers aren't going to see, but they are going to shape the world in which you are writing in. Having notes for these things is helpful for when you are writing so that you don't. It comes up sometimes with series, like suddenly you'll have enemy spy group coming up out of nowhere, and you're like, where were they? But then someone tells you, no, they hinted about them back in book 2. You're like, what? So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Number 5, maps. If you are a fantasy writer or a sci-fi writer even, happens much more often in fantasy though, maps. Having one of those in front of you so you can try and figure out how long is it actually going to take them to walk to Isengard. How long is it going to take you to get from point A to point B with walking, let's say, 5 miles a day? How long is it going to take you to get from point A to point B? How long is it going to take you from point A to point B to ride a horse? Are there any like topographical things that you should be mentioning? Is there a mountain that has suddenly appeared around the city that you don't know how this mountain got here or how the mountain disappeared? That happened in one D&D adventure that a friend that I've watched before. Is like a mountain suddenly appeared and the DM had to figure out, well, why did the mountain suddenly disappear? And there was time travel shenanigans involved. And step 6, or thing 6 you can do, create a writing wall. This is the thing that I was talking about with the index cards. You can take everything that you have that I have listed out here, stick them on index cards, and put them up on the wall right by your writing spot. Use different colors for different characters. Use, or you could use like white cards or plot outline cards, pink cards or character cards, blue cards are locations, etc. It does kind of help with keeping everything organized. You will need a lot of sticky tack. Just saying from previous experience, you will need a lot of sticky tack. Alright, next. I couldn't resist, but yeah, that can be what your writing wall looks like. This is where you can put the plot points together, the relatives. You can just make a giant like family tree if you have a character that is important enough to need a family tree. And yes, you will kind of feel like this by the end of it. Some resources for helping you keep with the habit. A clock or calendar tool on your phone or computer. This is your Google Calendar, your Microsoft Calendar. There are also productivity apps that can help you. These don't work for me. It's just a me thing. They don't work for me. That's why I have the like actual planner that's physical. Then there are websites like For the Words. I think I misspelled that. But For the Words is like gamifying writing. So like you write and it does damage to monsters and you can level up and things like that. There is now a free tier that you can do that on. That can help you if you are one of those people who needs to have like the gratification come quickly. That can actually help a lot because you are seeing you're seeing a thing happen because you're writing. You're killing monsters, you're doing quests because you are writing. Number 3 is R writing and R writers on Reddit. Do be careful if you are using Reddit because sometimes people are not nice on there. However, R writing and R writers are, in my experience, are usually very good at helping you if you are in a writer's block. Then there are other websites slash social medias like Tumblr and Blue Sky, and yes, I am dating myself by saying Tumblr. But you can get help. You can make friends. You can get a writing group going on any of these, actually. Discord, same. There are Discords out there for writers. Indiana Writers has one. The Writing Rebels. You just have to look around on these other two sites, Art Writing, Art Writers, Tumblr, Blue Sky, to find them. And there may be some you have to, like, you can't post in them for a certain period of time. They have different rules, but that is the kind of thing that is how you can find support systems if you don't have anyone local. That's why you get your local writing groups, like this writing group. Yes, so like I've said before, you can always post in the classroom that we have on here for our Google Classroom. If you have any questions or you just need a like rant about how your characters are not doing a thing that you want them to do, or how you've written them so that they won't do what you want them to, is not what they would actually do based on how you've written them, or you've written yourself into a corner and now you need help getting out, those kind of things. We can also, you can turn in your writing for like the month and we can go over it and see if there's anything we can find, like spelling, grammar, sentence structure, stuff like that, the actual like physical things, or if what you're writing is having a little bit of difficulty or not making sense, uh, that's the kind of thing. So I'm going to actually go back up to creating a habit. So we are going to go through this again. When you're going to start small, you're not going to say you're going to write 1,000 words a day. You're going to start small by maybe saying you'll write a sentence or a paragraph a day. Start small, small chunks. You can make them bigger as you go. Be precise. You are going to plan out a time and a place for when you write, and you are going to make your writing space comfortable. You don't want to be sitting on a hard chair and feeling pain in your back while you're writing, and because then you'll not look forward to it every day. 3. Make it rewarding. Give yourself a tiny little treat or do something special. Get some extra cuddle time in your cat after you're writing. I have a cat, as you can tell. Something like that. Give yourself an extra 30 minutes playing a video game. Something like that after you've done your writing for the day. Stay consistent and track. You're going to want to set it maybe not every single day. Like I said, I don't do Sundays and Mondays, but I try to get something writing done on every day of the rest of the week. Is it much? No, sometimes it's just 10 minutes of writing, but that's 10 minutes of writing. And get support. It is easier to stay with something if others are doing it with you. So, if there are any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can ask them in our Google Classroom, or we also have a Discord. It doesn't get looked at that. I don't look at it very often, but someone watches it. But you can always put in your questions, and I will try and get back with you. So that is all for today's this month's meeting. Next month we are going to be going over romance. I'm not going to say tropes. More of romance stereotypes that aren't true. So even if you're not a romance fan, I do recommend watching it because I'm going to be going over some things that can be said about other genres. Um, Studies that have been done, different organizations, but even if you're not a fan of romance, it will be good to listen to. And again, that is going to be the second Tuesday of February, which is, hang on, I'm checking my calendar, the 10th. That is going to be the 10th at 4 o'clock. That is the new time we are doing these because it gives me more time for if I need to answer questions or if I have a longer topic, such as the one that's coming up in May, for me to cover. So I have more time other than the 1 hour before closing. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can always pop in to our Google Classroom. You can always add a comment onto our recordings here, and we will get back with you. So you guys all have a nice day and have a nice rest of the month. At least I believe I'm back. Yep, there we go. Okay, I am back. So that was our meeting for this month. Again, our next meeting will be on the 10th at 4 p.m. And we will be going over the good, the bad, and the spicy stereotypes around romance. So I will bid you all